What's up, S.E.N? It's your boy Mike Keefe here bringing you more Dallas Cowboys content. And today we'll actually be going over the Cowboys' first preseason game and what that means and doesn't mean going forward into the season. And mostly I'll be going over my winners and losers on offense and defense after this game and who is starting to move up the ranks and maybe a guy or two who is moving down inside the ranks. So going into the game, I know it ended 13-10, but you can't necessarily look at preseason games at wins and losses and say that that's how the team is going to look going forward into the season. Last year we were 1-3 after the preseason, and look at how we did. So don't get discouraged too much about preseason, okay? But there were some guys who looked good on offense. Cooper Rush, I felt like had an outstanding game. He was 9 for 11, had 104 yards and a touchdown. That also went to another guy who I felt like was a big contributor on offense today, which was Rico, who had a touchdown, who is definitely helping to make the case for him to make the 53-man roster. So far, he had a touchdown in the Hall of Fame game. The route maybe wasn't the best, but he showed the hands to be able to make a play downfield, which is what you wanted to see. And also, against subpar competition, you want to see people dominate. So, Cooper Rush, though, is definitely fighting to make the practice squad this year. He's not going to supplant Kellen Moore as the backup because he is Scott Linehan's pet, who he feels like can do no wrong, no matter how wrong he does. So Kellen Moore is definitely going to be the backup. He would have been the backup last year over Dak if it wasn't for, thank God, a broken leg. I mean, you don't want to wish injury upon nobody, but hindsight's 2020, and Dak turned out to be a hell of a lot better player for us than Kellen Moore last year. So, you hope not to see Kellen Moore, but he is our backup. And Luke McCown, yes, he may not make the 53-man roster, but if Tony Romo is not the guy who is coming down from the booth whenever Dak gets, or if Dak gets hurt, Kellen Moore is definitely going to be the backup, and then Luke McCown is definitely going to get a call saying, hey, we need you to come be the backup, which is not what I want, but hey, it's what the Cowboys are showing so far. Emmett Cleary and Byron Bell, y'all are definitely not making y'all's cases to be the swing tackle and guard. You're making me really worry if I really am just okay on Jonathan Cooper being the left guard and moving Chaz Green if he is healthy enough to the swing tackle, because Tyron Smith is still battling a back problem, which is now making it 2 straight years, and that kind of makes you worry. If you're a Cowboys fan, yes, he's battled through it before, but it's not something you really want to see, especially this young in his career, of him having lingering back problems. So you really want to monitor that going forward into the season. I don't see him playing that much in the preseason, so you will see a lot of Emmett Cleary, but God, I hope you don't have to see him inside the regular season at left tackle, because Chaz Green is hurt or he is playing left guard, and you got Jonathan Cooper playing the swing guard. That would be terrible right now. So I'm thinking it's almost okay for Chaz Green to go back to being that swing tackle, because Emmett Cleary, you are not shown enough to not only me but Cowboys Nation that you are not ready to be that swing tackle guy, at least for this team. And also Byron Bell, you had a couple holding calls this game. Definitely want to monitor the offensive line going forward and into the preseason and see how they play. You want to see how Lyle continues to develop, as always. He had an alright day today, but you want to see how he goes with better competition too. And then going on the defensive side of the ball, you definitely have to shout out Taco Charlton. You made a big play today, almost for a safety. You are shutting up Cowboys haters, and even Cowboys loyalists who you have not shown a lot in training camp so far, in OTAs and all that, and it's really been quiet on Taco news on how he's been doing. The sense is maybe long term he is going to be that left end and be the power type rusher, but this sack actually came from the right side, which is something you want to see this year. So he had 3 tackles. He also had a sack and another tackle for loss. He was probably the brightest light that we had today on defense, which is what you want to see out of a first rounder who had extended playing time today. So big shout out, Taco. You had an exceptional day today, and I want you to build upon that and continue to grow. And then another guy who I would have to say would it be Tapper? Huh. Yeah, I would have to say it'd be Charles Tapper. Oh no, not Charles Tapper, but Lenny Jones. Lenny Jones, you had a sack and actually you had a pass swatted. Tapper, I wanted to see more out of you. That's why I wanted to say you. But yeah, it was Lenny Jones later on throughout the game. Somebody who is also fighting for a spot on a very crowded defensive line, not necessarily by great players, but by a lot of good players. So you want to see Lenny Jones continue to try to build upon this also, like Taco. But I'm definitely more excited to see Taco do what he did going forward into the season. So, also Xavier Woods had a pretty good game himself. He had 7 tackles, and 6 of them were for solo. For some reason to me, it looked like he was playing inside the box a lot, which is not something that I think really suits his strong suit. He's more of the center field safety. So I want to see him play more of the. I guess this year it might be Jeff Heath playing that role. So I'm gonna say it's the Jeff Heath role, wherever he plays. The center field type safety instead of the box safety like Barry Church did last year. But if the Cowboys feel like that's where he fits in this year, that's where he fits in. You want to see him being able to contribute on special teams too, along with Kayvon Frazier. Those are 2 guys who are definitely going to have to make this team based off of what they can do other than being a safety. You weren't able to see Cheeto or Jordan Lewis again because those 2 guys are kind of battling a couple. I know Jordan Lewis is battling a hamstring just right off the top of my head, but I don't know what Cheeto was, but I'm sure it's something along the lines of a soft tissue injury that's not going to be nothing. You weren't able to see Ryan Switzer play because of the same deal. I think a sore hamstring, but it's the preseason game 1. You really don't want to see nothing right now. Preseason game 2 coverage I am going to be getting up later this week, and I guess that is going to wrap it up. Now these vids are going to be coming out a lot more often. Dallas Cowboys content is going to be on the move here at S.E.N. Videos got a whole lot easier for me to create also, so that's awesome. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. I think I'm going to have different videos up here and you can subscribe down here. And well, until next time, guys, this has been S.E.N and Michael Kiefer. Peace.